Hey, you know. Give me a second. Can you hear why we're not starting yet? Man, I swear. Man, I do swear. I think they must just have a spy satellite, you know, and every time, I'm just going to recalibrate my jaw now. I need some tissue as well. And I think they can see me. He's reaching for the guitar, boys, quick into the cockpits and start flying away. I mean, it's a big sky. It's a huge sky. Why are you just always over my house when I want to sing? And anyway, well, maybe I just answered my own question. I just got to turn around and wipe my nose off the camera. I'm sure you want to know these things. Oh, right. Okay, well, we'll just see if they're going to keep going. Well, hi Dill, hi Anne. Let's get that other camera set up. Slothy's Dylan. No, I don't think it makes any difference. So, did I say hi Dill, hi Am? Hi Dylan, hi Am, it's Daddy here. If you ever get to see this. How you doing, guys? Love you with all my heart and soul. As you know, I didn't tune the guitar up. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to try a version of Me and the Princess here. I think they may have gone now. Which I wrote in 89. I wrote this in 1989. Boy. So I was singing this on stage in 1989, and you know who. She was 6 at the time, you know. I've been merrily desecrating your beautiful poem lately, Emily. It's getting lots of nice feedback from it. Everyone loves your words. They are truly amazing. And, boy, this thing's getting heavier by the day. I'm doing all kinds of different versions of it. You know, where does the sun go to at night? This is in G, isn't it? Where's she? It's been like 20 years since I sang, but strange chord sequence. I do like the chord sequence on this. Well, we'll know when I start. Actually, while they're just flying away, Emily, you were saying about your piano lesson the other day when we spoke. You don't know when I'm making this. Well, anyway, it's the height of it's the height of global warming, actually. You don't really like your piano lessons and stuff, and I understand that. I mean, it's good that you're coming along and doing them, but you have to be careful. I'm always wary about piano lessons. I mean, obviously in the perfect world it would have been me that was teaching you and stuff, I know I'm being overruled on that, but I'll tell you a story, because I think they're coming around for a second assault. If I'd known they were going to be here that long, I wouldn't turn the camera on, but anyway. Back in about 1989, actually. 89 had to be, yeah. 88, I think Mark moved away. Anyway, there's a brilliant guitarist who's all that I came across. Can you hear all the background noises here? His name was Mark Eddington, and it probably still is. I hope he's still alive. I think he was a year younger than me. And he was an amazing guitarist. He got me into Mick Taylor. He'd be playing me all these Mick Taylor licks. I think that's how we bonded. And I said, Mick Taylor, I don't know, he plays on the then new Bob Dylan album. And he'd gone to see Bob Dylan at Wembley Stadium. When was that? 7th of July, 1984. But he'd just gone to see Mick Taylor and listen to his guitar. Anyway, so Mark was a truly phenomenal guitarist, but the point of this story is he had taken it. He just moved back down to Somerset, and he said he'd taken a year off of music, playing and gigging, and he said, I've studied music, I've done all the theory and everything. Now the furniture is creaking away like there's no tomorrow here. And I said, oh yeah, and I can see it now. So we'd be here with 2 acoustic guitars, and stuff and noodling around. And he said, well, I'll teach you. He was teaching me about music theory that he learnt. And he was talking about relative minors. I don't know what the hell that was, you know. I'd been playing 82. So I'd been playing live for internet's just gone down as well. 4, 5, 6 years at that point, I guess. And you know, I've been doing too without knowing anything about it. I'd had a chord book and sort of learned some finger kind of thing, and decided the G was way too difficult. Because when I started, Steve had a right-handed guitar, so I had to learn to play it upside down. I can still play upside down now, so you'd make a G like that. Instead of like that, the G would be like that, and C would go 1, 2, 3 up like that. A was pretty much the same. I used to love E, but E would be like, and I had to strum upwards. And I remember working on a song one night, and I just paused, you know, so I said, whatever it was, you know, so I'd done an F, and I sort of paused. And he said, what's the relative minor of F, you know? I said, well, A minor. And he looked so pleased, bless him, you know, and he said, you know, like the Cheshire Cat from Alice, and I wish my jaw would get back in place. Well, the point where I'm going with this is, and he looked so pleased about that, and he said, because he'd write it all out for me, you know, and he'd say, the relative minor of F is da, and all this kind of stuff, you know, and he'd say, if you've got this 7th, if you play this 7th, you know, the line in here, you would go from that. And he looked so pleased, but to me, all I heard was alarm bells going off, and I'll tell you why. Thank you, Daddy, because, you know, we've been listening to you for 3 days now. And here's the thing about your piano lessons, because you are a natural musician, you're just like me, you know. And although you're 20 years or 15 years, what are you now? You're 9 now, you know, so I was like 22. Because Music 101, Paul Murphy Music Lesson 101 starts here. If I gave you a jigsaw puzzle of a house, and you did that jigsaw puzzle 50 times, it would be the same picture every time. You would finish it, you put the pieces together, and it would be the same picture that you had all the time. But if I gave you 50 pieces of paper and some coloured pencils and said, draw me a house, every one of those 50 drawings would be different. They would all be unique. Okay? At the start they might be a little bit similar, you know, you might just do that in a chimney with some smoke coming out. But as you kept going, the creativity would take over. It would evolve, and you would embellish and elaborate and extend. Your linearity would become enunciated, you know, so after 5 or 6, have a tree in the garden. After number 15, you might, let's put some people in the windows, let's add some background to this, let's add some extra texture to it by number 20. By the time you got to number 50, you might be drawing the Guggenheim Museum with the Hanging Gardens of Babylon as window boxes, you know? But the guy who's doing the jigsaw every time, same picture every time. Because he's got this piece here, and it tells you, that piece there, well, it goes in there because it's that shape, and that's how it would mesh together. And it just brings you out, you know. So this is why I'm wary of music lessons and stuff like that. And the other analogy I would use is, it's like you get in a car, you know. I mean, he would be telling me about transposing keys, for instance. I'll come back in just a second. I think it's gone a bit quiet there. You know, it's a 3-minute circuit. So, so if you've got a map, you know, or your sat nav will tell you, turn left here, turn left at 200 yards, da da da. Or you can turn the sat nav off, and you know where you're starting from, which is your first chord in your first word. And you know where you're going to end, which is your last word of the song. and you drive. And maybe sometimes you'll change the speed, you'll speed up, go down. Well, let's just turn left here and see what happens, you know? The creativity of it. And that is where it's the natural musicianship that you have, you know? Because I remember once, you know, I can't remember the exact chords, but, you know, I was doing something and I went from maybe F to B. Well, you won't go from F to B, why would you do that? I mean, it's not a bad chord change, actually. So it's jarring, it's not smooth. Well, I don't care. Because my songs, you know, not one time in 1,000 concerts, I think, that I ever come off of stage and someone said to me, great musicianship or great voice. But no one wanted to follow me on stage because the performance. No one had songs like me and no one performed songs like I did. No one. That's not ego, it's just a simple statement of fact, you know. I could go out there with an acoustic guitar. The people behind me, the band behind me could have been 7 technically perfect musicians and as loud as hell and everything turned up to number 15. They didn't want to go on past me. I've seen people laughing at me in strange venues when I was going up. We'll go on after this guy because he's just got an acoustic guitar and maybe a harmonica and we're going to look really good after this. And I would do Bitter Realities or whatever, and I'd come off stage and they didn't want to go on, because what did they have? You know, they had the cover versions and they had their standard stuff and everything. And I'd say to Mark, you know, but it doesn't matter because I'm telling a story in my songs, and if I make the chords, and I still do it to this day, if I put a jarring chord in, what did I write recently? There's Blood on Your Hands. And that's got a nice riff in it. It's basically E minor and A minor, and it goes up to a riff, and it goes up to 2 majors, it goes up to G, then down to D, and then back down. Kind of like this song here, actually, almost coincidentally. I swear it's not pre-planned, but there's a line in it, Coffins of Cribs, and when I get to that line on the E minor, I take that finger down and I put it down to there, and it jars, and it's like, well, that's not what we expected. But it accentuates the end of the line. Coffins are cribs, and it makes people follow that story. So where I'm going with this, Emily, and Dylan, you too, you're drumming, although, you know, you've got to keep a beat, you know, Dylan. The curse of the drummer. You just can't that beat down. You should be my drummer, Dylan, because I don't follow any set rhythm, as you know. So, you know, the music lessons are okay, Emily, but, you know, you write a song with these, you know, not with the books. Okay, let's try Me and the Princess. Let's turn this here on. I got to bend down now. I do not like bending down. Oh, and is that Puss? Naughty Puss. Do you want to see what Puss is doing, Emily? I've started feeding the cat. Feeding the cats? Here we go. Look at Naughty Puss. So I've started feeding the birds on the table because there's so many cats here now. And look at Naughty Puss, he's now like that, hello, I know where my food's to, it's up there, I'll just sit there and they will fly down and come to me. He's a naughty pussycat, not if he's hungry, and me buying him tuna and everything. Okay, and now, I'm going to mess up Me and the Princess. And again, this is just a story song. This is a song that is, it's a narrative, you know, so I just need those 4 chords. And I just work around within those 4 chords. But I don't think about it. This is the most I've ever talked about it. If you analyse it, you lose it. It's a bit up, but I don't mind. I do, but I'm not going to bend down and tune it up now because I've wasted enough time. Camera number 2 on. Okay. 4 of the guitar cables. The other thing I would say is always have a little small mic stand behind you, and what other musicians do, and wrap your guitar cable in that. I haven't got one there. I can see it. princess came from a broken home where she'd taken many knocks. She ran away at 14, maybe living out of picking locks. One thing was understood all around, she belonged to a guy they called the big man. Anyone that messed with her was gonna wind up with no hands. I met her in a bar one night when the temperature was down below. 4 months later we're still together, I'm keeping my head low. But she had a restless urge, she never liked things being easy. She started staying out all night, said, I don't care if he sees me. I threw my cards in front of her, I said, tell me where I stand. She said, you don't dictate to me, that's something you better understand. I told you right from the start, we shouldn't be any more than friends. I don't know if I'll even remember you after this whole thing ends. I looked back around the room and saw the start of a brand new deal. I said, call me if you change your mind about the way you feel. I left the place in daylight, I knew it was a big mistake. A voice said, boys, give this guy a ride, he's got a lot of things we're gonna break. Princess watched from a window, just like I knew she would. If I didn't get back alive, I was sure that the plan was good. It was sly and it was deceitful, but I knew it had to be done. You can't get people to dictate your life for you, or you're not anyone. The man's pocket phone started ringing. He picked it up and said, hello. I heard Princess on the other end of the line saying, hey, won't you let him go? And she started talking down to him, trying to change his point of view. I was thinking if I survive the night, it's gonna be down to you. She was there at the warehouse by the time that we arrived. She pulled a gun to the big man's head and said, hey, how'd you like to stay alive? Big man gave an evil smile. He knew it just was going down. He sneered, you better tell him quick what you want to, baby. There's a mighty bad deal going around. The windscreen had been spiderwebbed. We hit the highway fast. Drove all night looking in the rearview mirror, praying we wouldn't run out of gas. We turned down an old dirt track. She said we'll rest up here for a while. When she saw a cop behind her wearing a gun and an evil smile. Cop said, I saw you guys turn down here like the devil was on your spine. Let's see how much of what you got is yours and how much of it is mine. Princess pointed a gun at him, but the click said the clip was empty. Cop said, shame that you shot your lover, baby. And I knew that he meant me. Suddenly, the shot rang out and the cop jerked 2 steps back. I saw a red stain appear underneath his heart, and then it all went black. I woke up in a hotel room with one hell of a bruise on my head, and Princess's note inside my hand. Goodbye was all it said. Next thing I know about anything, it was on the next day's news. Big man shot a cop and then killed himself. That's how it all came through. Nothing was said about Princess. Her name was never mentioned at all. But the if she ever wants to see me again, she knows all she's got to do is just one other small bit of advice would be to tune your guitar a little bit. I was going to play 7 Men From Now, but 7 Men From Now, 7 Days From Now. 7 Men From Now is a wonderful film sung by Scott and the lovely Gail Russell, poor Gail Russell. Maybe I should do The Night. I wrote a song for her called The Night Has 1,000 Lies. Well, let's change the file over and see what we're going to do next.